So good morning. If you are new here, new to H.E.A.T, new to my class, good morning and welcome. We're glad you're here. This is mindful meditation for beginners. So anyone is free to join us. It's a quick half-hour class that doesn't require anything of you, no past experience, no special equipment or anything like that. Just kind of an open mind, interest in meditation. So welcome. My name is Katie. I am coming to you from Chicago, Illinois in the United States. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. It's nice to see you. Nice to have you here. So this morning, we're going to do a mindful movement practice, which is a little bit different than just kind of your regular sitting meditation where you're not really moving around at all. Everything will be done in a chair, so no worries if you've got bad knees like me or something like that and you don't want to be standing or moving around. Everything will be from a chair, so it's very accessible for everyone to join in. And we'll get started this morning. Mindful movement, why it's important for me to include this in a class, a beginner's class, is just to give you another tool that you can use in your toolkit besides the other practices that we do in this beginner's course, especially at the beginning. If you're just trying really hard to establish a practice, establish a routine, I think mindful movement is really important to be able to kind of shake it up a little bit. And it's not always about just sitting and focusing on the breath. It can kind of seem monotonous after a while, and the best way to keep your routine fresh, of course, is to try something else. Try mindful walking is a very great form of mindful movement, a little bit harder to do on a Zoom call, but definitely look something up like that online if walking is your thing and you want to build some mindfulness in it. It's great for, even a small apartment inside on in a snowy location like Chicago. It's really more about focusing on the movement of the feet, of the steps. But you can also do it, this kind of formal way. You can do it more informally just outside if you're just out for a walk, paying attention more to the body and what's around you, instead of kind of mindlessly just going for a walk. So you can do it with the dog. You can, that's kind of the beauty of mindfulness, is that you can do it no matter what you're doing, brushing your teeth, washing your dog, doing the dishes, or just sitting. So very accessible. Mindful movement that we'll be doing this morning, like I said, it's all going to be in a chair. So what we can do now is kind of take our nice comfy seat, make sure you're comfortable at all times. A few recommendations though is to keep the feet flat on the floor, knees at 90 degrees, as much as whatever chair you're in will allow you to. And then making sure you relax the back, like having the sits bones, which are the hip bones, right under the spine. So you might have to kind of scoot your butt back in your chair a little bit to get a nice tall spine where the spine can be relaxed. Your whole upper body can be relaxed. But you're still supported perfectly by your own body, by your sits bones that are in the seat. So make sure you take that posture now. Again, I recommend feet flat on the floor. It's just more relaxing for your legs. And then, hands, forearms can be either on, if you have an armed chair, they can be there. They can just kind of rest on the lap. So we'll come kind of regular into our meditation posture here. You choose today if this is a day where you can close your eyes and be comfortable, or if you kind of need them to be what I call half masked. So you're just kind of staring downward, maybe a couple feet in front of where your feet are on the floor, which you'll probably be staring at a desk or something like that. But just make sure there's no words. Take your eyes away from the screen. Nothing that'll distract you. Let's take a moment here to just kind of find our posture, choose how the eyes are going to be for this next short while. Taking a couple deep breaths can just kind of help us arrive and bring our attention from outside more introspectively into our body, to the feeling of breathing, the movement of the belly, the movement of the chest, air coming in and out of the nose, mouth. Taking a few deep breaths, whatever's comfortable for you. After a couple, just returning the breath to a natural pace. It's really important for me to do two things when I start doing a mental check-in and a physical check-in. So the mental check-in kind of looks like this. We're just kind of non-judgmentally checking in with ourselves. Where are we this morning? It's going to be different from where we were this time yesterday. Same with tomorrow. So just kind of non-judgmentally just asking ourselves, maybe dropping in a question of just how are you? How am I this morning? You might feel like monkey mind is totally taking you over, and that's fine. You might feel as still as a, lake, any wind, and probably be somewhere in between. So again, just bringing a dose of self-kindness here to where you are, because that's where you are this morning. So there's no reason to judge it. That's just how it is. And we can just kind of sit with it. We can just let it be without any sort of struggle against it. That's really where the, anxiety and the push comes in. So we can just observe it as it is and allow it to be. That's going to be the easiest way, even if you're not in a good place this morning. Just kind of acknowledging that and honoring that in yourself to make sure that you're just as you are this morning. We will take you exactly as you are this morning. So that mental check-in, which kind of also includes kind of an emotional check-in, of course, too, just surveying the whole landscape of the mental emotional field here. And that second thing is doing a physical check-in. So for me, I like to do kind of a body scan style, which if you're new to meditation and body scans, usually starts at either the feet or the head and moves part by part down or up, depending on where you started. And for me, I usually like to just kind of do a shortened version. I check in with just the places I know tend to hold tension for me. So this is my version of it. Feel free to edit out, add, delete things as I come to certain body parts that maybe for you don't hold tension historically and there's somewhere else you want to draw your attention to. So let's go through that right here. Taking a deep breath in can kind of help just kind of inflate the body a little bit. It just kind of helps bring your attention to maybe what's going on, any tension that might be held. So I usually start at the top. My first stop is kind of the eyes and the brow bone, just making sure there's no extra tension being held there. I'm not grunting, scrunching out my eyebrows and really kind of leaning forward into something, trying too hard, right? Make sure that those are smoothed out as much as they can be. And if you find something just won't relax this morning, that's okay. Like our mental check-in, we're here as we are, and there's no judgment there. So smoothing out the eyes as much as they can, the brow bone, or another location you would like to place your attention. And on the next exhale, I move down to my jaw, which for me, subconsciously will hold a lot of tension. I'll check in with myself a lot and see that it is, in fact, clenched. I need to relax that. So that's another stop for me. Again, if that's something that lands with you, feel free to join me. If not, choose another location or just kind of stand down slowly if you're just kind of investigating this morning. So with the jaw, I really like to make sure, again, it's not clenched. If it's able to relax, then I relax it. Sometimes pushing my tongue to the top palate of my mouth kind of helps release any tension there. Just the tip, if you're like me. On the next exhale, we move down to the neck and shoulders. For me, that's a common place. I think we all hold tension. even if we don't realize it. Because this is a body movement practice, feel free to like throw in some shoulder rolls here, just real gentle and slow, real slow. It's like you're on a slow motion video here. Really feeling into every little motion. It's important for me to do a physical check-in if I'm doing a mindful body movement, just because if there's any extra tension I maybe wasn't aware of before, this kind of opens that up to me. And then I know to be extra gentle when, let's say my shoulders are really uncomfortable this morning or my neck, then I know to really be gentle with myself when I'm moving my arms or doing something like this, like a shoulder roll. Feel free to reverse that shoulder roll if you're joining me on this. Going really painfully slow, slower than you think you should go. Just paying attention to anything that comes up there. If you're on a different body part than neck and shoulders, just feel free to feel into it, see what's there, see if it'll relax if it needs to. If not, that's fine. Allowing the shoulders and neck to kind of come to a resting posture. On the last stop for me on the next exhale is kind of the core. So I like to use that term to make sure that I'm checking in with both the back and my belly, since I tend to hold some tension in my back. And for me, the belly is a big kind of emotional center for me. So whenever I'm feeling uneasy about something or I'm anxious about something, I'm nervous, I feel it in the stomach with kind of those uncomfortable butterflies or like a knot. Again, just taking maybe a few deep breaths, especially from the diaphragm here with the belly. Just checking in, kind of feeling the expansion even across the back. Or choose another section to check in with. If there's anything you're finding is uncomfortable this morning, make sure that you're being really gentle with yourself with this. With the core, again, if there's discomfort or it feels like it just really needs a stretch, I recommend doing some looking over the shoulders, kind of twisting the torso. So feel free if you're going to do that. Feel free to kind of twist the torso here this morning. So we're use kind of my opposite hand to go to the outside of my hip or the arm of the chair and just twist to whatever is comfortable, looking over your left side or right side. Just never stretch beyond what feels comfortable for you. A few breaths, switch sides if you're joining me here. Over the other shoulder, just feeling almost like you're wringing out a washcloth here. If there's any discomfort, please stop. Turn back to center. On your next exhale, you can return your body back to its sitting posture. Just kind of feeling into the body as a whole here, just seeing what changed, what stayed the same with that little exercise. Bring in a little more movement here. Join me. I'm going to start with my left side, so probably your right side. Just keeping our posture as it is, we're going to slowly, very slowly, lift our left arm up and out. So slowly, you can't even see it yet, but just really, really slowly reaching it towards the sky, the fingers pointing towards the sky. Once you get the arm up next to your ear, just reach for the sky as much as comfortable. Never overextend yourself. You're going to wiggle those fingers, just get a feeling in your hand and your arm here. See if you can't feel those wiggled fingers all over your shoulder. Just retreat, a couple breaths here. If this is at all uncomfortable, please just focus on the breath. Do not have to move anything that's going to be uncomfortable. On the next exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly reverse that position. Bring that right arm back to our lap, ever so slowly. As much as you can, placing your focus on this feeling of movement. Place that hand back on our thigh. Settling breaths here. We're going to do the same on the other side. So taking arm out, down by your hip, just ever so slowly raising it up towards the sky. 1 mil. Just noticing every single feeling that the sensation brings to you. Reaching it slowly up towards the sky. The arm is next to your ear, just reaching up vertically, wiggling the fingers. Stretching up as much as comfortable, wiggling the fingers. See if you can feel that all the way in the shoulder, in the oblique side of the body. Amazing how we're so connected, every single piece of it. On the next exhale, just reversing all of that motion so slowly. Like you're on a slow motion camera here. Out as much as you can as you move. Placing that hand slowly back on the thigh. Because we worked kind of the arms and the shoulders, let's do a few slow shoulder rolls here. Forward first. Back. Feeling that into the chest, into the shoulders, even into the shoulder blades down the back. Be relaxed about it. It doesn't need to be a big squeeze. Feel your muscles working. Deep breath, reverse that roll. So it's back up to the ears. Really trying to take in each sensation there. Squeezing the shoulder blades, raising it up towards the ears, rolling it forward. And finish your next circle and just kind of come to stillness here. Taking a few deep breaths to kind of end that movement section. And coming back to this tall spine, really supported on these sits bones. Adjust your posture if you need to after moving. Again, with eyes closed, if you had them open for that movement practice, of course, that's natural. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable and just kind of coming to stillness. Deep breaths if you'd like, or keep it at a natural pace. Just kind of focusing on any buzzing sensation, energy that you might feel in your body from that movement practice. Even though you are still, there is energy generated from movement. You might be able to really tap into it, quiet your mind a little bit. You can feel it. Checking in with some of those places we checked in originally and just seeing if anything's changed. If stretching or movement at all brought any relaxation, it's still the same, whatever it might be. So for me, I'm checking in with the neck and shoulders, seeing what's there, maybe feeling the buzz of the energy you just created. Or if there's a lack of sensation, that's something you can note as well. It doesn't have to be anything to try to feel something if there isn't anything there. It's okay to have a lack of sensation. It's just something else to note. So checking in to see if we're still tense from the movement at all. You know, movement activates the muscles. So as we're sitting here, we do want to make sure that we are completely relaxed. Make sure the shoulders and arms can kind of just fall down with gravity. Checking in with our core, just seeing if twisting our torso helped any back pain or if there's any sensation there from the movement. Or lack of sensation too. Just kind of bringing our attention to the breath, kind of a typical meditation end here, just allowing the mind to let go of any sensation in the body that we're feeling, allowing it to just settle on the breath somewhere in the body. Just kind of coast for a minute here. And as we kind of join the moment, join back into whatever room we're in, we can lift the gaze, open the eyes, look around, note seeing. Just kind of rejoin the flow of your day, family or life you have with you. So just a wrap up note with mindful movement, you know, if you're, again, if you're starting a practice, if you're starting mindfulness meditation practice and you want a couple different types of tools in your toolkit, mindful movement is a great option. It'll keep things from not getting too monotonous if that's something that kind of keeps you from having a strong practice, having a strong routine, coming back to something day after day. If it's just kind of the same thing, then build in some mindful movement. And like I said, walking is a great example of mindfulness that's been around for a long, long time. So feel free to also try that. Maybe take a walk outside if it's nice for you, or like I said, you only need a couple feet indoors if you're going to do more of a formal practice. Just kind of walk back and forth. You're doing it very, very slowly, kind of like our movement today. So it doesn't need a whole lot of space, but you can do it more informally if you're going outside, taking the dog for a walk, or build it into your regular routine, and it will stick so much better. So I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for being here and joining me this morning. I really appreciate you, and good luck on your practice.